This is Aiden Hale, a transgender man and a former student of a Presbyterian church in America Parochial Elementary School in the Green Hills neighborhood of Nashville. On March 27, 2023, a tragic chapter unfolded at the Covenant School, a seemingly peaceful sanctuary dedicated to nurturing young minds. This is Aiden Hale, a name that would soon become synonymous with heartbreak and chaos. Once a student at this private Christian institution, Hale, a 28-year-old transgender man, would return to the halls of his childhood, but not as the innocent child he once was. Founded in 2001 as a ministry of Nashville's Covenant Presbyterian Church, the Covenant School has educated around 200 students from pre-kindergarten through 6th grade. But on that fateful day, it would bear witness to the deadliest school shooting in Tennessee history. Armed with a chilling intent, Hale unleashed a wave of violence that claimed the lives of 3 innocent 9-year-old children and 3 dedicated adults. The horror unfolded in mere minutes, leaving families shattered and a community grappling with unimaginable grief. What drove Aiden Hale, a former student, to commit such an unspeakable act? This is a story that demands to be told. A story of loss, confusion, and the urgent need for change. So everyone, grab your chips, popcorn, McDonald's, KFC, and anything else you love, because we are diving in. And stay with us as we uncover the truth behind this harrowing incident. The Covenant School is a private Christian school in the Green Hills neighborhood of Nashville. It educates students from pre-kindergarten to the 6th grade. It was founded in 2001 as a ministry of Nashville's Covenant Presbyterian Church, a congregation of the Presbyterian Church in America. Its enrollment is about 200 students. Okay, so first of all, who is Hale? Aiden Hale, previously known by his birth name Audrey Elizabeth Hale, who was a girl and 28-year-old Nashville resident with no criminal record. A former student of the Covenant School, Hale had attended the institution around the age of 10. For the convenience of viewers, we will address Aiden Hale as just Hale in this entire video. Besides, he was a transgender man, so at this moment, everyone may have different opinions about his gender. So it will be more suitable to say just Hale as his last name and also address him as he. According to MNPD police, Hale was under care for an emotional disorder and had legally purchased 7 firearms between October 2020 and June 2022, 3 of which were recovered at the scene. Hale, an illustrator and graphic designer, graduated from Nashville College of Art and Design in 2022. He lived with his parents. Actually, Hale was transgender and used male pronouns on a social media profile. A former art teacher and classmate recalled that Hale had publicly come out as transgender on Facebook in 2022. A LinkedIn profile indicates Hale worked as a freelance graphic designer and a part-time grocery shopper. A friend also stated that Hale had a childlike obsession with staying a child. The story begins on Monday, March 27, 2023 in the morning. Hale's parents saw Hale leaving the family home with a red bag. They asked what the bag contained, but Hale didn't respond to any of their questions. Moreover, his parents didn't think anything of it because they didn't believe Hale had any firearms. He gets all his weapons and equipment ready and sets out for the school. The shooting suspect is seen in a campus security video driving a Honda Fit in the parking lot of the Covenant School, a private elementary school that is part of the Covenant Presbyterian Church in the neighborhood of Green Hills. Hale, wearing a black vest over a white t-shirt, camouflage pants, and a backwards red baseball cap, arrived at the school at 9:54 a.m. At approximately 9:53 a.m., Hale arrived in his vehicle at the Covenant Presbyterian Church and School, located at 33 Burton Hills Boulevard, Nashville, Tennessee. Upon arriving at the school, he parked his vehicle in the parking lot on the northwest side of the building and waited in his vehicle for over 15 minutes. What was Hale doing this 15 minutes? Actually, at 9:57 a.m., he sends an Instagram message to Averiana Patton, a former classmate. Hale writes, "I'm planning today. You'll probably hear about me on the news after I die." He also writes, "My family doesn't know what I'm about to do. One day this will make more sense. I've left more than enough evidence behind, but something bad is about to happen." Patton calls the Suicide Prevention Helpline and Nashville police. At 10:10 a.m., Hale exited her vehicle, armed with a 5.56mm caliber rifle, a 9mm caliber carbine, and a 9mm caliber semi-automatic pistol. He was also wearing a tactical vest carrier with pouches mounted on the carrier that contained several loaded ammunition magazines for each weapon. After that, he approached one of the entrances to the west side of the building and fired multiple rounds from his carbine through the glass doors leading into the building. The fired projectiles shattered the doors, which allowed Hale to enter the building and gives him the chance to launch a brutal attack. The gunfire and the shattering of the glass doors drew the attention of Mike Hill, the school custodian, who had been cleaning a lobby area adjacent to the entrance Hale entered through. Upon seeing Hale, Mike turned to run but was shot by Hale multiple times with the rifle as he ran away. Upon seeing Mike no longer moving, he proceeded further into the building. The smoke from the muzzle of the rifle drifted upwards and triggered a smoke alarm positioned on the ceiling near the entrance. This in turn led to an audible fire alarm sounding throughout the building, which prompted an evacuation by church staff, school faculty and staff, and the students of the school. Meanwhile, Hale moved to a staircase leading the second floor of the building and began ascending. As students were filing towards and into the same staircase, he ascended the stairs and encountered them. He proceeded to fire several times with the rifle at students and faculty members present at the top of the staircase. While many of the students and faculty members were able to flee to safety, 4 people were shot by Hale at this time. These individuals were Cynthia Peake, substitute teacher at the school, Evelyn Dieckhaus and William Kinney and Hallie Scruggs, 3 third-grade students at the school. As other students and faculty sought safety inside classrooms and offices within the building, Hale approached the 4 individuals she had shot and fired close-range shots into them. Subsequently, he moved to 2 third-grade classrooms in close proximity to where the 4 victims had been shot. By this point, the teachers for those respective classrooms had locked the doors to barricade them and students within. Hale then fired multiple times through the windows set in each door, with the fired projectiles traveling through the windows, across the interior of each classroom, and through the exterior windows out of the school. One student within one of the classrooms received a grazing wound across the top of one shoulder from a fired projectile. None of the other students were injured during the shooting. Hale didn't make any other attempt to breach the doors or enter the classroom before moving down the hallway through the building. Shortly after Hale ceased firing into those classrooms, Catherine Kuntz, the principal of the school, exited the school office area on the 2nd floor and began walking through the hallways. Based on information developed at this time, Catherine had no idea a shooting occurred within the building. Based on the position of fire doors within the building, the location of the office, and the audible fire alarms, she and other office staff apparently had no idea a shooting had taken place within the school. But she didn't know that this was going to be the worst decision of her life. As Catherine Kuntz was walking through the building to investigate the fire alarm and to ensure a fire evacuation took place, Hale rounded a corner into the same hallway and encountered Catherine Kuntz. He immediately fired several shots from her rifle, which caused Catherine to fall to the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. Then approached Catherine and fired a single shot from the pistol into Catherine. Then he left this location and continued to move through the hallways. After that, he searched the church offices within the building before returning to the 1st floor. He fired several shots in the lobby near the cafeteria on the 1st floor, which included several shots into 2 different television sets and through a set of doors leading to the kindergarten classrooms. Nobody was killed or struck during these incidents. He eventually returned to the 2nd floor of the building and made his way into the upper gallery area of the church. Once there, he fired several shots from his carbine into a stained glass window depicting Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. After shooting this window, then he moved into an adjacent vestibule, where he observed police officers arriving in the parking lot outside the front entrance of the church. Upon seeing these vehicles, he took up a firing position at this window and fired upon police officers exiting their vehicles, forcing them to take cover. He maintained this position for over 2 minutes and fired numerous shots at those police officers. The body camera video released is from the 2 officers who are credited with taking the shooter down, Officers Rex Engelbert, a 4-year veteran, and Michael Colazzo, a 9-year veteran. At 10:20 a.m., officers enter the building and check first-floor rooms on their way inside. After sometimes a teacher informed them that students were in lockdown and 2 were missing. Officer Englebert's body-worn camera shows him arrive at the school and grab his rifle from his trunk before he encounters a teacher who tells him the kids are locked down though 2 are unaccounted for, and the shooter is upstairs.
And that day is going to be first floor main lobby of I'm making it.
Officer Englebert yells, "Let's go!"
Let's go!
As an entryway door is unlocked and Metro officers enter the school. The police entered the building at around 10:23. Officers move from classroom to clear them as they make their way upstairs.
Open the door! It's locked! It's upstairs. It sounds like it's upstairs. Go!
Additional gunshots can be heard, possibly from Hale's weapons. As they moved upstairs, they stepped over a victim. Officer Englebert's camera shows officers closing in on the shooter in a main stairwell as they order Hale to stop moving and to drop a weapon.
Push the LPV up! Push the LPV up!
The footage from Officer Colazzo's body camera clearly shows Hale still moving after Officer Engelbert engaged,
Move!
which led Officer Colazzo to fire the latter 4 shots while screaming, "Stop moving! Stop moving!" At 10:25, 2 officers fired 4 shots each, striking him multiple times. Hale was neutralized. The video ends with Officer Colazzo announcing over the radio, "Suspect down." By 10:27, just 14 minutes after the initial 911 call, the threat was neutralized.
Suspect down! Suspect down! Hey, hold the air!
Hale fired almost 152 rounds during the attack, 126 of them 5.56 rifle rounds and 26 of them 9mm rounds. He was shot 4 times, once in the head, once in the torso, once in the left arm, and once in the right thigh. After detectives located Hale's vehicle in the parking lot, the vehicle was searched under the authority of a search warrant. During the search, detectives located Hale's cell phone, 2 notebooks with handwritten entries, 2 thumb drives, and additional loaded magazines for Hale's rifle. These items were seized as evidence at that time. Detectives then went to where Hale lived with her parents at PY Nashville, Tennessee, and executed an evidentiary search warrant. Within Hale's bedroom at the residence, detectives located a shotgun, a laptop computer, and over 20 notebooks and folders containing writings by Hale. Detectives also located a farewell letter written by Hale and addressed to her parents, as well as a signed last will and testament. The letter didn't provide a motive or explanation for the attack on the school and only provided instructions to them regarding the storage and safekeeping of items within his room. The attack claimed 6 lives, 3 students and 3 staff members. The children, Evelyn Dieckhaus, William Kinney, and Hallie Scruggs, were all 9 years old. The adult victims included substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, 61, custodian Mike Hill, 61, and head of school Catherine Kuntz, 60. A police officer also sustained minor injuries after cutting his hand on shattered glass. Over the last year, Hale posted on Facebook about the death of a girl with whom Hale apparently played basketball and a request to be referred to by the name Aiden and male pronouns, according to Maria Colamy, a teacher who taught Hale for 2 semesters in 2017. Cody, a former art school classmate of Hale. "It must have been their best friend," said Cody. Cody also said he thought Hale had a weird childlike obsession with staying a child. Hale was reserved and serious about artwork, which teachers lauded, he said. The art couldn't be more childish, family-friendly, G-rated. to a nauseating degree almost, and filled with very garish, bright colors, Cody said. Neighbor Sandy Durham said, I do know Audrey. I've known her since she was a baby. I had just gotten out of the shower when all of this started happening. I didn't really know anything more than that. Something was going on next door. It's just tragic for everybody. The sweet children that were hurt, killed, the adults, all of it. Asked if there were any warning signs. She said, never. She was very sweet. I don't know what happened. It's very scary. Another neighbor described Hale as coming from a great family. Aside from art, I enjoy binging on video games, watching movies, and playing sports. There is a childlike part about me that loves to go run to the playground. Animals are my second passion, so I also enjoy spending time with my 2 cats, Hale wrote on the website. You may remember at the start of the attack, I told you that Hale messaged one of his friends, Averiana Patton. At 9:57 a.m., a former middle school basketball teammate of Audrey Hale named Patton looked at her phone to find a message from Hale and sent a screenshot to her dad at 10:08 a.m., who suggested Patton call a suicide prevention helpline. At 10:13 a.m., Patton told CNN she called Nashville-Davidson County Sheriff's Office and then called the non-emergency line at 10:14 a.m. I just couldn't believe it like I know that I did. I tried to reach out, not even knowing that it was her. I just didn't. I don't know, Patton told CNN. Patton still can't believe she was one of the last people to have some contact to the Covenant school shooter. I am trying to wrap my mind around it all, how I'm involved, how I'm sent the message. I got a lot of questions and I'm giving them to God. Hale was right, Patton found out later on the news. I had no clue it was her. We knew it was a shooting, but I didn't know that message was tied to the actual physical what happened tragedy, said Patton. It's something Patton is still trying to wrap her mind around, knowing she did all could do to help. Patton says she just hopes this is a warning to others. I tried to comfort and encourage her, and subsequently reached out to the suicide prevention helpline after being instructed to buy my father at 10:08 a.m. Audrey has shared with others that she had been suicidal in the past, and I knew to take this serious, Patton said to News Channel 5. Patton said she called the Nashville-Davidson County Sheriff's Office to make them aware of the situation and was instructed to call Nashville's non-emergency number. By then, MNPD says it was too late. After phone calls from friends and Audrey's name was released as the shooter at Covenant Nashville School, I learned that Audrey was the shooter and that she had reached out to me prior to the shooting, Patton said. My heart is with all of the families affected, and I'm devastated by what has happened. In the months leading up to the shooting, Hale became infatuated with a late schoolmate and repeatedly posted about the woman online in the months, according to a friend. Hale's former classmate, Samira Hardcastle, has spoken out about the impact that the sudden death of Sydney Sims appears to have had on the 28-year-old. Sydney Sims, a 27-year-old former basketball teammate of Hale, was involved in a head-on car crash last August in Nashville, Tennessee. The crash killed another woman before Sydney died 1 week later from her injuries. An online obituary for Sydney reveals Hale had left a message and sent a gift to the family. With much love to the family, I will miss my dear friend Sydney forever. Rise up, Queen, you are free, Hale wrote. However, Hale and Sydney were close. Instead, Hale admired and was infatuated with Sydney. After Sydney's tragic death, Hale was really heartbroken over it. He was still posting about Sydney almost daily. It is very possible that Sydney Sims' death forced Hale to open a new chapter. Perhaps Hale was so devastated by her sudden death that he was going through some sort of trauma, and maybe he felt he had no other option. I wouldn't call this the definitive reason, but it could be a theory. Think about it. If you have a very close friend or someone you post about daily, it's natural to feel something for them. Additionally, Hale was struggling with emotional disorders, which took advantage of his loneliness and simplicity, leading him to take such actions. On November 6, 2023, conservative commentator Steven Crowder released images of 3 pages from Hale's diary. The entries revealed Hale's chilling intentions, including a desire for a high death count and explicit threats to Hale's alleged manifesto includes an hour-by-hour calendar of the tragic day, which Hale called Death Day, including everything from getting dressed and eat breakfast to prepare for attack and time to die. I'm a little nervous, but excited too. Been excited for the past 2 weeks, Hale allegedly wrote. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't. Wanna kill. One page from the alleged manifesto reads, Police had found maps of the school that were drawn in detail and which noted the location of school surveillance cameras, entry points, and other features. She just always was a kind of quiet girl but was very serious about her work, said Steve Lassour, an instructor at the school who had taught the attacker in a design and composition in 2015 or 2016. The assailant who killed 6 people at a Christian elementary school in Nashville had legally purchased 7 firearms recently, including the 3 used in the shooting, and was being treated for an emotional disorder. The shooter, whom the police have identified as Audrey Elizabeth Hale, was under doctor's care. The shooter's parents felt that their child should not own weapons. Given that Hale was an illustrator, artist, and graphic designer, you might be keenly interested to know what kind of art he actually created. Now, I'm going to share 2 pieces of art by Hale, a person with an emotional disorder. At first, I didn't take it that seriously. After seeing these artworks, you will understand what was going on in Hale's mind. Disturbing artwork created by the Nashville school shooting suspect has come to light as police revealed that the killer drew a cartoon outlining the attack. Hale ran an art website called H Illustrations. Hale's work showcased on the website ranges from the disturbing to the childlike, including a creepy drawing of Jack Nicholson in horror movie The Shining. Chillingly, the word is scrawled backwards across the disturbing image, a reference to the movie. There's also a whole section titled Mad World, which is filled with sprawling patterns, perhaps more eerie given the age of Hale's victims. There's a whole trove of childlike images. Another image on the website appears to show Hale's feet with the phrase, "to be a kid forever and ever" across it, as Hale is now accused of killing 3 small children. The website also features a self-portrait of Audrey the artist, alongside a bio which describes the soon-to-be school shooter as on a mission to change the world. Okay, so at the end of the video, only one question remains, and that is why Aiden Hale did this shocking thing. MNPD obtained a folder with Hale's partial medical history while searching her parents' home. Then Hale's mother advised detectives that Audrey Hale was receiving psychological treatment at Vanderbilt Hospital and has been for some time. According to the affidavit, when detectives processed the folder containing Audrey Hale's medical records, it was clear that Audrey Hale has been receiving psychological treatment from Vanderbilt Psychiatric Hospital since 2001. It is implied that Hale began receiving treatment at VUMC on April 23, 2001. When she was just 6 years old. So it's true that Hale was under a doctor's care for an emotional disorder. And do you know what the most disturbing and fucking things are? Hale legally bought 7 guns in the past 3 years, and they were kept hidden from Hale's parents, who lived in the same house. Sleep tight, but not too tight.